I worked in the shop and for like 3 years there. And it was midday till midnight, 7 days a week if you wanted to. And there's people sat out there wanting your work because it was tattoo scene, which was a respected shop. And you just shut the fuck up and earn your money.
Killa Kela podcast. KillaKelaOfficial.com.
Instagram UK Frontline.
Beatbox created.
Killa Kela.
And we're here to talk about world music and street culture.
Killa Kela podcast.
Big shout out to Graffiti Kings. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Killa Kela podcast. Serves you right for joining in. Coming to you live, Central London. As central as you don't need to be any more central. It's too hot for that. Subscribe, like, follow. I'm talking about the podcast. Make sure you join in with a fun weekly platform. And yeah, man, I'm here with an old friend of mine that pretty much taught me everything I need to know about. Good friend of mine.
It's all good, man.
Charlie, SHAZE,
Be
Kids
real.
Loving, WD.
Big ups, big ups.
How are you?
Good to be here. Good. Yes, fine, thank you.
Yeah.
It's cool to come and do these kind of things, like, you know, it's new experiences, and it's the way forward in life, I feel. So, yeah, it's good to do this shit, man, for real.
We've seen you as quite a good speaker as well. You're very... I can imagine you doing a good podcast. It was kind of my first...
Yeah, you know, like, it would be interesting, like, talking, like... getting points of view of people rather than TV shows or reality forced stuff, but just like people talking, man, like and getting the right heads together, like, you know, you swerve off, there's tangents. It's amazing. Like most of what I watch is that. You do watch. You watch quite a lot of podcasts, don't you? I try, man. I try. Like, I mean, Rogan's like generally because he covers the board, but sideline stuff, man. And like, you know, I've been thinking about all the people I met, the Rodney P's, like I don't know, the WD boys, other Graff guys, yourself. There's like so many different types of people. Who all have stories and points of view that were there and remember everything that we were involved in, and like it's a good thing to get that together.
It's crazy. It's a crazy thing when you look back in the old phone book and you realise actually, you know, I mean, I do all the time. I'm like, hey, you know what? If I contact, you know, then we can speak about that. And you know what I mean? It's such a beautiful thing, isn't it? Yeah.
And it's like, you know, this doesn't take much. It's all there. Like we should do this. Like. It's like fight the power in a way, like squashing the sort of regular, like, you know, ITV or whatever. Like they don't do stuff like this. And if you got a brain, like just hook it up and figure out some other good brains. And like it's like a black market. Like that's how I started tattooing. It was kind of under the radar. And even hip hop was like a musical and artistic form under the radar. People doing it for the love, and like everything's so technical and ordered now. Like stuff like this, I guess, is the new version of that.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's an argument with all the kind of madness that people are feeding us, and the fake news that actually truly is in abundance. To have an outwardly spoken conversation. On a platform that you respect, that's few and far between. I mean, I've been in situations where I just love the presenter of this program, and I'm just like binge watching because I like his mannerisms, or because of the repetition in some of the things he says, but asked in a different way to different people.
Yeah, man. It's like we're not watching Question Time, or you know what I mean. Like, but just like people point of view and just relax. You know. You can cuss a bit. It's fucking great.
It's fucking great.
Because like things are so PC and ordered, and people get like if you're out in a group of people, you don't know them. You say something a bit realistic, or in a harsh way, not like wrong, but
spicy.
People get like tweaked out and a bit like, like no, man, like just it's good.
It's quite a sensitive time right now for people, isn't it?
Honesty.
Honesty is key, man.
True.
Have you always been one for the? Because you mentioned the more underground tastemaker just in your last.
Yeah, always like non
conforming.
I don't know. That's like when I was 11, 12. Like I heard Madness Specials, but my friend across the road lent me the Specials album, and I listened to this whole album. It changed my life. Like it was dark, it was interesting. I didn't understand everything they were talking about, which now I've learned about, but it's like, okay, music can be awesome, but like this kind of dark and not obvious. And that opened my mind to like all sort of psychobilly, rockabilly, weird stuff, and then hip hop popped up. in like 81, 82, heard a couple of things about it, and eventually saw Buffalo Girls video.
Yeah.
And Dundee doing the black outline on that Buffalo Girls
You're not the first person to talk about this, you know.
That was like, yo, right, this is interesting. There was all the Buffalo hats and the fashion, but Rocksteady were like, you know, there was all that. So there's different things, and I remembered the punk era. I wasn't a punk myself; I was too young, but I was aware of all of it. Malcolm McLaren. And I was like, yo, this is interesting. And I still dressed like a rockabilly 50s with the quiff and like clothes from Flip in Covent Garden, but I was breaking and graphing. Yeah. And I never got beat up because the kids thought, well, at least you can have a go. And then eventually in the sort of late 80s, I met the WD boys. But even then we dressed like really ragtag and weird. There was bits and pieces like we managed to scrape together enough to buy some shell tops. But
do you know Mean?
Yeah.
Same sort of trajectory in sent into like street stuff. He was kind of into his punk and madness and all.
Yeah, like that was. I mean, most of my friends were back then. It was like two-tone parties. We'd all be doing like the Moon Stomp to a Bad Manners track or some shit.
Love it.
But
love it.
And then like I say, that Specials album, like the sort of dark side of. And like the Graff thing was like sort of dark side of art. It wasn't like nice canvases and artistic studios. Like you're in a fucking train yard and you're all dirty and it's grimy. People don't want you to do it, and you just have to go and do it. And you've got to figure out how to do it, how to get the materials.
Such a good point. All of those, just that one sentence alone has just kind of verified the amount of times I sit there thinking, because you know, doing a Graff thing, you're faced with there's a lot of fraught situations where it's like, okay, this writer doesn't want to do it because of this, and then, you know, obviously there's like the code of like you don't want to be seen, and so you don't want to be. They don't want to do a podcast, but then you got to think on your feet about, you know, the genuine like legality of having a conversation about Graff on any level. But then when you say something like that, I'm just like, yo, you know what? This is why it's got to be documented. It's why it's got to be done. Because
it's like this initial, what got you, maybe if you ended up becoming more of a vandal and being like causing criminal damage, that becomes like a real thing, and you've got to be careful for that. Yeah. I mean, I was never really wanted enough for that, or did enough trains, or got busted that I should cover it. I mean, I didn't do enough trains in London, I'll admit that. I did a bunch in Norway, did a lot of walls, in, like more bombing, like the tagging WD. Like we had the city for about a year or two.
WD,
we just used to go en masse. We had these meetings and just tagging, like smashing everything, man.
What was it like back then? Hold on, actually, let's just rewind a bit. Let's just rewind a bit. Okay, so for those of you who are like joining in on this conversation right now, right, Charlie was part of WD, wrote SHAZE. He's now moved on.
Even though we're all too old and don't do shit, but we're still there.
Yeah, I feel that. I'm still in Rocksteady.
Well decrepit.
Somewhere down the line. But moved on and went on to do bigger things with Kids Love Inc., which is one of the London premier tattoo places. And he gets busy.
Temporarily homeless, but something will come back. Well, there is the Deptford shop, but
it's rock and roll, mate. It's rock and roll.
It's like, it is what it is. It's ever changing. I mean, because that has changed, like music, hip hop. It's become such a widespread thing. Again, like tattooing was this like rebel thing. Like, I guess I got my first one, like, I don't know, I was 17, lived in Norway then, so...
I've always seen you with tattoos. I've never seen you without one.
I mean, yeah, like, and it
I remember that one. Always remember that one.
Oh, that I did myself, like, and you can tell.
That's the... But I remember that for me was very significant because you used to work.
I was like, I'm going to tattoo my hand as well. I want to do it. I'm going to draw it myself. I don't care if it's wrong. It is wrong. It's mad wrong. It looks like Pingu, but like whatever.
But that was the hand that dealt me the records at Bongos, you know. So I always remember that particular tattoo.
I was real fast with them as well. But I never DJ, like, because like there was none of that. Like,
no, you never had records,
or even scrapping. Like, no, it was drawing. But I just like swallows on the hand. That's some. Like, I love that shit. I just went and did it. I should have waited a year because that was in my first year as well, which is well done. And like I went over the vein, it's all spread. Like,
oh damn! But it's got a story, isn't it?
That's heritage. That was that moment in time.
Yeah.
And it was just like, I'm just going to do this. Like, it was like tagging. I wanted to do a tag. I had to go do a tag, and you couldn't order tattoo machines online. We had to go Birmingham to go Mickey Sharp's upstairs at the back of Steve's Tattoos and order it off the dude. And there was no catalogue or showroom. It was like a grimy ass office. He went,
That's
fucking minutes,
crazy.
and went off for like 10 minutes and came back with all the shit we wanted. And then we brought a pasty from Greg's and got on the train back to London.
That's insane. So it's like that?
And it was like this, like, yeah, we went and did that, and we didn't know what we were doing with the stuff, like, because we didn't get really taught. It was Jay Saga, R.I.P. It was him and me and some of my Norwegian buddies who sort of, because Kids Love Inc. was just a tag in an old black book. There was just like 7 tags. I was thinking of crew names. I was just writing shit. And I thought, oh yeah, Kids Love Inc. And then one day, Christian, who did this he's my Norwegian friend for many years, he kicked me in the ass. Him and Jay kicked me in the ass to start learning tattooing, and they were like, let's use Kids Love Inc. I was like, all right. Which was, you know, we started that about 25 years ago.
I see that one.
Like the dragon.
Yeah.
It's still not finished, but I don't never see this.
You like the Chinese kind of
that's what gave me, it's like Wild Style, Graff. Wild Style gave me such a hard on because it's such a technical, amazing, and you couldn't just do a bunch of shit. You had to make it work. Like Japanese tattooing, it's heavy on the eye.
Yeah.
It's confusing, but if you break it down and look into it, there's the flow. It's all about that flow
It is
thing.
about flow.
Even lettering. Like that's what turns me on. Like
a lot of writers do get into. I mean, let's not beat around the bush. You've done a lot of work alongside Scene, didn't you? In New York?
I got to meet him and like, because he was like him and Future are like my 2 favorite New York writers, like hands down. Scene could do the clean, smooth, to a good Wild Style, whereas Future was just like.
Yeah, he was
Like
super.
formless, whatever. Still is. It's still amazing. I love his stuff, man.
I love watching him do it. I love his use of the can, man.
And both characters, man, like crazy, amazing human beings. I know Scene well, Future I don't know so well. I met him a few times, and he's an awesome, like, gentleman, man. Very cool. Watched him do a little thing in my black book, and like it's just like wow.
Yeah. Pick your jaw up.
But yeah, got to know Scene and tattooed at the tattoo shop. I never actually painted with him, which is pretty retarded. Like
you've
in the
done a
back
lot of
room.
tattoo
but
work with
well, yeah. I mean, I tattooed him. He tattooed me. I got a little one off him. But I worked in the shop and put like 3 years there. And it was midday till midnight, 7 days a week if you wanted to. And there's people sat out there wanting your work because it was Tattoo Scene, which was a respected shop. And you just shut the fuck up and earn your money.
Yeah.
They went to bed at like 4 a.m., wake up at like 11, straight to the shop. And like just hung out in the Bronx. Didn't really do nothing, went to a martial arts class. And just hung out in the back room most of the time, drinking beers with these crazy dogs, smoking a blunt, and just talking about shit, watching the Warriors or like old cartoons and shit.
That's amazing.
Got some driving lessons, which I mentioned before, like, which is ridiculous.
Come on.
And like
This
you
is
go
like
to
it.
lunch in the local place, and there'd be some dudes who'd be like, "Hey, you're rich, what up?" And like we go to pay, and they're like, you'd be like, "No, those dudes covered lunch." You'd be like, "What?" Like just because.
Because you're rolling.
Yeah, it's just like, oh yeah, like, I'm going to get Scene's lunch and his boy. It's just like, what? I didn't even like know or say thanks to the dude. I didn't know. I just thought it was his mate saying hello.
Higher level of
like,
like,
wow.
respect in
Yeah,
the community.
and he did, like, you know, there was a few times, because I thought, like, there was one time he was giving me some driving lessons. It was like 3 a.m. on a Thursday night, whatever. And I'm just driving around the Bronx, like, I can't drive for shit, but he fell asleep, and I'm like, oh. So I'm like, I'm going to keep going for a bit, like, because I've got this, like, this driving. My left turns were good. And then suddenly there's, like, a police car in behind. I see it in the mirror. I'm like, oh. So I keep going. I'm trying to find that safe left where I can casually turn. Because, like, they might stop a car, but, you know, worst come to worst, like, it would have been Rich next to me. And he would have woke up, and they would have sort of busted his balls. Because, like, you know, I haven't got a driver license or papers or a work visa or... You know, I'd have had to have been like sort of quiet, dumb English guy. Like, sorry, officer. But no, it was all right. He would have got us off because of like the neighbourhood. Because everybody knew that dude. It's crazy.
Was he heralded in that way, like even with the cops? I mean, that's an old school thing, right?
Yeah, like I was, because he was like crazy old school. Because he's not a hip hop guy. Like,
No, he's not. He's rock
he
and roll
knows
dude,
a
isn't
lot of. A major part of all that, especially for us outside of America, we got the package deal.
Yeah.
We Style Wars. Like,
Yeah.
that was the bit everyone... The music was, like, the Wanderers and 50s stuff.
Yeah, that's right. That was his
Soundtrack.
piece. That was his piece, was all that.
Which was one of my favourite films anyway. Like, like I said, the 50s
Jimmy,
thing.
that's my
like,
favourite film ever.
So, him being him, and, like, the amount of Black Sabbath, like, Zeppelin,
Yeah.
like, that we listened to. He didn't know rap music, and he'd be like, ah. But he was just him and old school cars, and like that he collected the chopper bikes, and his brother Mad, who was mad.
Yeah.
Phil, like,
No way.
he named him right.
Whoa.
But just their stories, and like I helped Rich clean out his like stock room once, which was in his dad's building down the block. It's just tubs of pictures from the 70s, 80s, all yellowed, small pictures of people in yards just hanging, street
Hold on,
life.
so he's just got...
Yeah.
For real?
And like his stuff saved. Like, it's incredible, man. Like, you could archive if you just opened like a whole museum. You know, there's that Stanley Kubrick thing. You could do like the Ritchie scene. And, like, it would be like endless shit of life from that era.
How many
flares?
How many
and
do you reckon he's
cut-off
got?
T-shirts.
How many do you reckon he's got? How many pet pieces do you truly think
How many
he's done?
pieces he did?
Do you
oh
really,
my God.
judging by the boxes you've seen?
I couldn't say thousands, like thousands. I mean, he like, well, one thing, he had this protege back when I was there. I think he quit soon after, this kid called Cheese, and he gave him his throw up, which was CHEEZ, in those scene letters that we all know and love.
Oh my God.
And he used to be on him like, yo, like, if you're going to go out and do throw ups tonight, he goes, if you don't do at least 250, don't even tell me about it. And that's just throw ups in one night.
And this
So-
was in the noughties?
This was, I was there from 2005 till 8.
Damn, he looking... I
And
mean,
this
that's a whole
kid
different
was
time.
everywhere.
Man.
He had these, his tag was a bit different, but he had this the scene bobble throw up. And it was everywhere. He did like one block, this whole block with a C at the beginning, HEEEEZ. And this kid was everywhere. He gave his life to it. But he said to him, yeah, if you don't do at least 250 throw-ups in one night, like, not tags, like, I don't even want to know.
No.
It's a waste of night. Don't want to know about it.
Damn, what?
And that's just like
Whip
him telling
cracking.
you what this kid to do. And this is in the difficult times, not like
That's what I'm
86,
thinking.
87 or the late 70s.
It's
where
a
you
bit
just,
of a false
he said
currency,
he used
that.
to like know all the dudes. They'd buy the dudes a 6-pack at the yard, like the watchman. They'd just give him a 6-pack and they'd be like, hey, what's up, Rich? It'd just be like that. No one was like, you know, yeah.
This is incredible.
Very different era.
Incredible. So look, when it comes to the tattoo business, then you by default, I guess you learn from one of the like Graff tattoo masters.
What I learned was, because I was already tattooing a bunch of years, about 10, 15 years, but the work ethic, that's what I learned from him. Like, if you're in there, you're open, do it. And I was a bit like lazy and stoner. I need my downtime. I didn't have no fucking downtime. I worked 7 days sometimes, midday till midnight, sometimes till 2.
Did it feel like work though?
Yeah, I had the pain and like
Gotcha.
messed my eyes up and my hands, but I was like, just keep fucking doing it, man.
Because
And,
you're
like,
here
you
for this
earn
one
money
time,
and
yeah.
you're learning, and it's an amazing experience, and I'll never have that again in my
Amazing.
life. I mean, even New York tattooing isn't as crazy as neighborhood as it was back then. That was like the sort of, and that wasn't like the glory years was in the 90s. You told me a lot about like people queuing up, there'd be a queue literally round the block and people trying to pay $100 to get higher up in the queue. Just like, yo.
Because it's seen, because it's...
And that was when it was illegal, yeah.
What?
So it's like, wow, I wish they'd known him back then, but I wasn't really, that was when I started tattooing, 97 I started, so.
So you were 14, 15?
No, like, because I'm 50 now, so I was like, I don't know, at 97, I was born in 69, I can't, like, I was nearly 30 or 30 something. But yeah, those 3 years, man, changed my life, and I was just like, and I learned about real martial arts. I went to a real martial arts class there, and I came back a different human being, man. I was like, all right. I mean, it's been difficult to transfer that New York way of life to here, because it's not that.
Tattooing in general is a very
yeah.
different beast over here by comparative to...
And my life here was different, because over there I lived in the shop or at my friends around the corner. I just slept there. All I did was tattoo, go to martial arts, sleep, eat, and maybe on a Saturday we went downtown for a couple of beers or something. And it was great.
Wow.
I've sort of, I guess, I mean, you can't get the workload here like that. I mean, I had the shop Brick Lane for 8 years. That took up 8 years of my life, but
You
it
were,
was a
you
very
were
different
also on
world.
Old Compton Street, weren't you?
Down at a Metamorphosis,
Because that's where I got this stuff.
Yeah, no, for real. I
Yeah,
found a
man.
picture of that in the back of one of my sketchbooks.
Get your books,
if you
man.
bust in through the... I don't know if anyone will be able to see anything.
That's okay, no, we'll
Oh, shit.
throw them up. We'll throw them up. So this is some 1984, 86
Well, from around 85,
pieces.
86.
This is some early SHAZE
But
WD.
I guess I'm pretty, like, it's nice to... I thought I'd lost these forever until 2 years
It's
ago.
amazing.
My buddy found them in his airing cupboard, believe it or not.
That's look, we don't have people bringing their shit like this because obviously they don't have them stored in like
I was lucky, I was lucky to get these, but I did have a lump in my throat when my boy brought them. Like these, like the other one, you can barely open. All the plastic's gone weird and stuck together and
so
shit.
cool. Yeah, that
You
was
can't even
crazy.
see that in pencil. I don't know.
So these are like crazy.
And like this was just what the ones I liked, because I'd probably do like 6 in a day and just be like, throw them away. With
Old
rotary
school style.
pens and
Yeah,
those
yeah.
little clicky pencils and shit.
Where's the character ones? That New York style.
I forget, man. I don't really look at this.
Do you remember doing any of these?
Oh yeah, a lot of them I remember sitting on the floor, probably watching The Wanderers or Star Wars on a video, like trying to rewind it a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know, where is that shit?
That thing is... There it is.
Oh yeah.
That's fuego. That is fuego.
I try to, I always mean well to try and paint, but stuff gets in the way. I do miss painting. Because now it's for fun, I'm not trying to be active or something, but...
No, but you're from that... I mean, like...
I got this little daily tagging story thing on Insta going, and I'm trying to just do a tag or 2 a day, put it up with a bit of music, and just have some like output. I'm trying to the digital out there world, virtual.
Yeah. When you were doing it, look at that, it's
Full
crazy.
mode, man. Like, woo.
Yeah, I've only
You had
just
to rip that off back in the day for real.
Yeah, listen, some people owe Von Bode some money. With the,
Yeah. I mean, his
doesn't-
son is like doing it, and he does it
Yeah.
almost as well.
really,
Slightly less psychedelic.
San
I think.
Francisco.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember being told.
Yeah.
I mean, like when it comes to that sort of stuff, particularly with tattooing, it's a really grey area. The whole copyright thing, isn't it? Like, I mean, I'm not sure how that works.
I mean, like if it's... I mean, you get people who try to replicate other people's work and they're not very good tattooists and they just fuck it up. But copyright-wise, yeah, no.
It's very grey,
if
innit?
you're using stuff for a logo or whatever, you've got to change things by a certain amount. But tattooing, I've had a couple of people who've got famous people to sign them and they've just gone over the pens. Or like people's artworks. I mean, if it's another person's tattoo artwork, I won't do it. Like...
Yeah,
Unless they say, it's cool. Like,
With their
just go and get that.
consent.
Or if it's another tattoo person, get them to do their artwork on you. Like, go see them. Like, don't ask me to do it.
it's like jumping in the grave of someone that's already done their shit, right?
Or you don't rip off someone that's blatantly something. No, I mean, it doesn't stop people doing that, but...
They'll find someone to do it.
There's
That's the
people,
thing.
there's people without morals all over the place who'll just do it for whatever. Or someone's mate will have a go in the bedroom, like, you know what I mean, 3 a.m. Saturday night, and they've got some stick and poke, like,
Let me ask you about the techniques like stick and poke.
I mean, I don't know about it. I've only used machines, I've changed the kind of machine, but for me the skill was learning this.
Explain the machine. Explain.
I mean, there's 2 different types. There's the coil, which is the noisy thing, which you would have heard back then. Up and down, the plus minus magnetism.
Yeah.
Big copper coils, pushes the needle up and down.
Yeah.
That is the traditional method since it was, and you
Yeah.
learn to guide it. There's different needles for different, it's like a ballpoint pen for outlines or a flat paintbrush for,
Yeah.
washes and stuff like that. When we started, we used to solder our own loose needles together. We had these little jigs and... now you can buy everything ready to go, disposable grips, which is the bit you hold where
Yes.
the needle sits in. So if you've got money, you can order quality stuff. It's all ready-made.
That's crazy.
So you don't need to have those skills. If you can draw and you learn to use it. And there's these different machines, rotaries, which I use now, which is just one coil and this little thing goes around. Again, it just pushes the needle up and down. It's real quiet. It's so much easier. You don't have to maintain it. So, kids can just get one of these. You can buy all these tech ergo ones in day glow yellow that look all snazzy and shit with these hand-fitting grips. It's so easy. All you have to do is learn to keep the ink and the skin good. You don't have to know about tattoo history. It's like kids can make whatever kind of music without having to listen to what came before them. It's just like, I've got this idea. I'm going to do this now. That's it. I'm valid. And tattooing's like that. And Graff, you don't have to.
Oh yeah, and the same.
There's a
with
lot of writers who
music,
don't know
bro.
what Style Wars is.
No.
Yeah.
But
It's
at
a
the
shame
same.
they don't want to learn that.
Yeah, it's true. But in the same way, I don't know. I think what happens. Bear in mind, I was way too young to even witnessed Star Wars at any time of when it was around, I had to go and find it.
Yeah.
And there was something in my... The thing I was listening to in music, it brought me back. I thought to myself, no, I need to know about that.
Yeah.
And I remember going back into the books, into the...
But you're still from the era of where you knew about that, and like it was still common knowledge, like the Style Wars or Wild Style, you know. And like, it was still difficult for us. Like, I think the first copy is when... Did I watch it in England? I can't remember. But it was like a copy of a copy on a video, VHS, and it was all faded and the tracking was fucked. You know, then later on videos releases, and then like, there was like DVDs, and Bongos did that whole Wild Style thing, and then Star Wars re-released. So, well, like I don't know, you still had the craving of knowing about what was before, to still want to know about that.
Yeah.
This episode continues over on your favourite podcast platform. Don't forget to subscribe to us.